And Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. So got a little production issues there, but I'm getting it taken care of. Not a problem. If you were wondering, gee, Joe, the music doesn't suck today. Why is that? Well, that's because that was the band known as Gypsy Hawk. Gypsy Hawk. What can I tell you? It's, well, there's very little that I actually know about it, other than the fact that I know one of the members of the band, and that's Eric Kluber. That was their song, Gypsy Hawk, I guess a self-titled track there. Let's see, if you look at them up on Facebook, it's Gypsy Hawk. It's this one word, Gypsy Hawk. If you take the word Gypsy, take the word Hawk, put them together, look it up, Gypsy Hawk. Good stuff. If you look them up, their description is hard-drinking, life-loving, rib-chomping, woman-stealing, full-housing motherfuckers. That is their description. And you know what? I'm gonna agree with that because I know my buddy Eric Kluber, Eric Ronhouse Kluber, according to this. He plays guitar for the band. And Eric is a lot like my buddy Craig. And if you remember my buddy Craig, I can't hang out with buddies like Craig and Eric too often because that could lead to my death or imprisonment. So, you know, I can't hang out with these guys too often. Not as much as I'd like to because I'm too old for it. I just really, really am. But they are pretty rocking, man. You know, if you get the chance to, you know, catch them in concert, I know they're on the road right now. I think North Carolina, actually. Check them out, man. There's just a gang of fun, as you can obviously tell here. Let's see, other members of the band. Andrew Packer, guitars. Eric Harris, bass and voice. Ian P.P. Ryder Brown on drums. And, of course, my buddy Eric Ronhouse Kluber on guitar. I don't know how they got those names, those nicknames. And a part of me really doesn't want to know because that does scare the hell out of me. But, yes, please check them out. They're it's almost sad to say that they're a throwback to like some really great 70s, 80s, you know, rock, metal music, you know, and it's great that they're doing it, but it's, you know, I think it's sad that it isn't happening more often out there in the music industry. But you know, they're part of it. They're spearheading, bringing that kind of music back to everybody. Okay, and I think you're gonna really enjoy them once you do start, you know, checking them out there. And I'm gonna see about playing some more of their music as the show progresses. And with a little luck, hopefully in the near future, I can get the guys from the band in here to do an interview. Hopefully, I said that's a hope. Okay, they're too big actually to do a show like this. But maybe I can get my buddy Eric to come in on one of his more sober days, and he'll come in and we'll just get drunk together and do a show. You know, that is the hope. No promises, but that is the hope. Anyway, happy June Thursday. What is it? Day 13th or some shit like that? I don't even remember anymore. Good God. Let's go through some quick celebrity birthdays from. Let's see, from Sunday, actually. June 9th, Johnny Depp turned 49 years old. Natalie Portman turned 31. Michael J. Fox is 51. If that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what does. Jackie Mason is 84. If you know who that is, you've been around a long time. David Williams of the World Series of Poker is 32 years old. George Perez, 58. He's a writer. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what he wrote. You look it up. Okay? And if your birthday happened to be June 10th, Sasha Obama is 11. Kate Upton is 20. It's also Judy Garland's birthday. Maddie McCormick birthday. Elizabeth Hurley is 47. Prince Philip is 91. That's right, he's the guy that's married to the Queen of England. Faith Evans is 39. John Edwards is 59. Lily Sobieski is 30. God, she's still a fucking hottie. Mickey Jones is 57. 71, excuse me. Remember him from the band there. Let's see. Gene Triplehorn is 49. Bill Burr, very funny comedian, is 44. Caroline Hennessy is 50, and Gina Gershon, the ever-sexy Gina Gershon, is 50 years old as well. And we will get to today's birthday. Don't you worry about that, okay? Also, now, something I don't normally do, I don't talk about celebrity deaths. But this one is a little personal to me because it's Harry Lewis. He was an actor and restaurateur. Born in 1920, died 2013, just recently. And like I said, you're wondering, well, who gives a shit? Well, if you happen to be me and you worked for the Hamburger Hamlet as a bartender for about 2.5 years, then you would know that he is the founder of the Hamburger Hamlet. And he got me it was because of his company that I got one of my first bartending gigs. Not a great gig, but it was fun, though. I had a good time, and that's where I met Craig the Rye Time, Mai Tai, of all people, when we were both bartending over there. Like I said, that's it. That's the only celebrity death I got for you today. What the hell is going on in the world today? Let's see. Well, we recently had, I think, what was it, the Tonys? Hosted by Neil Patrick Harris. The opening number with him dancing along with Mike Tyson. You know what? Back in the good old days when I was watching Iron Mike Tyson kick the living shit out of people in 90 seconds or less, and I was watching Doogie Howser, I never would have imagined these two together on stage singing and dancing together. What other news? I want to get through some of the news here. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this now. Somebody accidentally made a $300 million error in somebody else's favor. Apparently, the supervisor of a German bank worker fell asleep at the computer and accidentally transferred nearly $300 million to a pensioner's account, got her job back after winning a case in court. I got to tell you, okay, according to this, the employee, a clerk, had dozed off and accidentally hit the number 2 key 11 times, sending $222,222,222.22 to an account of a retired pensioner. The amount that should have been sent was $62.40 euros, or $82.60. I don't know. I mean, it's not like they lost the money. You know, it was an accident. They got the money back. You know, it's not like this pensioner got to, keep all that money. But, and I suppose in the end, there's really no harm done. But I don't know. Would you really want to hire back somebody that just gave away $300 million because she fell asleep? Oh, my God. So what is going on? Well, we got Father's Day coming up. Happy Father's Day. That is the title of today's episode, if you have one. It doesn't mean much to me, to be perfectly honest with you, because I grew up without a real father. My actual father ditched my mother and I long before I was born, like maybe 2 or 3 months is what my mother tells me. She was pregnant. He knew, and he just skipped town. And I'm like, well, gee, that's like everybody I grew up with, basically. And then you have my other quote unquote father figures, like my first stepfather, who turned out to be a child molester, pedophile, Not me, okay, just so you know, not me, but, he did go to jail for it. And then you have my second stepfather, who was just a violent, abusive, alcoholic, who treated me like a handball throughout my young life. So those are my three father figures: the one that ditched, the pedophile, and the abusive drunk. So so Father's Day doesn't mean shit to me. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, these three guys are lucky I don't run them over with my car if I ever see them. Okay. It's really amazing because my stepfathers, they always talk about how proud they are of me, how they think of me as being their true son, not just a stepson, and I just keep telling them, don't talk to me, just don't talk to me. The fact that you may have provided me with a home, food, shelter, you know what? That doesn't take away what you did besides that. All the good things in the world that you did doesn't take away all the bad things that you did. All right. Much like a lot of people I knew growing up in New York City, I was basically raised by my mother. And now, mind you, I don't send her anything for Mother's Day either, but not because I don't want to, but because she's a Jehovah's Witness and they don't celebrate holidays. So that makes it kind of easy on me. But if she would let me, I would, and you know what? I have bought her gifts before. I've sent her flowers before. I call her on occasion, check up on her, see how she's doing. I love my mother a great deal. But when it comes to fathers, I really can't relate to how some people can relate to their fathers. I take. There's an example of my buddy Craig, who grew up with a father. His mom and dad are still married, and the first time I met Craig's father was when he came into the bar that we were both working at, and I didn't know who he was at the time. And Craig walked up behind this gentleman and whacked him in the back of the head. And the guy turns around and he's smiling, he's laughing. I was like, "Oh, that's your dad." Shit. But that's the relationship he has with his dad, and that's cool, I don't have that. I never did. I don't know what it's like to go to, when I was a kid, I didn't know what it was like to go to a man and ask for advice, ask for help, to ask, how do I become a man? How does a man become who he is and what he is? I didn't have that. I had to deal, with my mom, and I was raised by my mother, my aunts, my godmothers. I have 5 sisters. As you can see, the estrogen was thick all over the place. No real male role models other than negative ones. Honestly, it's a shocker to me that I don't beat my girlfriend. Yeah, honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, it's a real shocker. Not because she's a bad person, but because the images, the examples of manhood that I was raised with were a bunch of abusive, pervs or people that just weren't there. But now, if you have a good relationship with your dad, you know what? Good for you. Or if your dad is no longer with you and you miss him, I understand that. I get that. If you were good with your father, I get that. And if you weren't good with your father, your dad's good, and your dad was not a great father, it might be a part of you that, regrets that you didn't get to be close to him. You didn't get to mend those fences, With me, I've gotten to the point where I don't care. I have no interest whatsoever in ever mending any fences with my father or with my stepfathers. Really, they can all die today. I'd go to the funeral just to take a leak on their graves. That's it. That's totally it. Yeah, I'm not kidding on that one. That's exactly what I mean. And it's just about time for a break. I know, morbid, sad shit going on here. And let me set this up. I'm going to play a little more Gypsy Hawk for you guys. Hold on. Sorry about the noise. Again, very sorry. But let's see what else we can get here. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Little sample. working on it. Okay, looks like Gypsy Hawk doesn't want to join us for this particular song. I was hoping to get a preview here. But you know what? Let's go back a little bit. Maybe we can find something else for us to listen to while so I can take a break around here. Let's see here. Let's try that one. This is hopefully Planet Former. And if not, we're just going to have to get something else for you guys to listen to. And the computer's really slow today. Don't know why. Okay, that's not working either. So I have got to find some music for you guys to listen to really on the quick side here. So, because I do need to take a little break. You know what? We'll go with one of my faves here. And we'll go with this one. And we are back. Sorry about that, guys. Every once in a while, every once in a while, let me just add a couple of songs here so I don't have to worry about Gypsy Hawk for right now, which is a damn shame because I really wanted to hear more Gypsy Hawk. But my Samsung tablet is being rather uncooperative today. I don't know why. Just is. Welcome back. Joe the Shirt's off the cuff. Thank you for listening, guys. Couple technical difficulties here, but don't let that stop you from checking out Gypsy Hawk, okay? I mean, go online, look for their music, buy it, download it legally, hopefully, Believe me, you don't want the members of Gypsy Hawk coming after you because you illegally downloaded their music or stole it or whatever. You don't want these guys coming after you. Really what you should be afraid of, you should be afraid that they might want to take you out drinking. That could kill you right there. Okay, and more celebrity birthdays. If you were born June 11th, you share birthdays with Shia LaBeouf, who's 26. Joe Montana is 56. Gene Wilder, comedy legend, is 79. Hugh Laurie is 53 years old. You may remember him from the TV show House. Vince Lombardi also has a birthday today. Dr. Oz is 52. Peter Dinklage is 43. You may know him as the small Lannister on Game of Thrones. Chad Everett's birthday, as well as Jacques Cousteau. Fun birthdays there. So what's been going on with you guys here? We're talking a little bit about dads and Father's Day, which is coming up. I think dads get the short end of the stick a lot of the time when it comes to Father's Day, because Mother's Day is an event and a half. Okay, every time I've worked in a restaurant, I used to work as a waiter and as a bartender. Anytime it was Mother's Day, there would be like this just gigantic group of people with one woman, usually the oldest woman in the group, being treated like a queen, presents, gifts, everybody's buying drinks, not getting too fucked up though, because they did, bring the kids with them. But, and it's a big deal. They get, they'll get clothes, they'll get jewelry, they'll get all these flowers, maybe a trip somewhere, maybe, they take them to a concert or maybe a cruise. And even better, what if your mother's birthday is a Mother's Day? That's, woo! It's a big deal when it's Mother's Day. Father's Day, Dad gets the short end of the stick, I've found. Anytime I was working in a restaurant or a bar, nobody came in for Father's Day. Nobody. buddy. All right. It was just a regular day. It's a regular Sunday. That's all it was. It's like, hey, today's Father's Day. And that's really kind of sad. I think, Chris Rock really kind of put it best. He did his great joke about how we're always thanking Mama for stuff. Mama, thank you for teaching me how to read. Mama, thank you for carrying me for 9 months. Mama, thank you for giving birth to me. Mama, thank you. Oh, it's always thank you, Mama, thank you. Dad, Papa don't get shit. Papa's just a rolling stone. All right? And his joke was, how about you just walk up to your dad and say, hey, Dad, thanks for knocking out that rent. Hey, Dad, thanks for paying the bills and letting us enjoy electricity. You know, I mean, and that's what Dad does. You know, Dad is the guy, at least he's supposed to be the guy that, makes sure that everything else is taken care of. Dad is the guy that makes sure that Mama is able to take care of you. At least that was the traditional way of thinking, especially back in like the 40s and the 50s and shit like that. That doesn't happen anymore. I think more often than not, children are growing up, in single parent homes. A lot of single mothers out there, actually. I think I talked about that last week. Roughly 40% of all children are being raised by a single parent, usually a woman. And a lot of that comes from the fact that, the maternal instinct, and also when it comes to people getting divorced, more often than not, the kid tends to stay with the mother, which, again, I think is pretty brutal on the dad, because so basically Dad, who's divorced, and he goes to work 5 days a week so he can send money for his kid and for his ex-wife. Those are two separate things now. And then on the weekend, he gets to have the kid. So work all week long, and then on the weekend, give Mom the weekend off. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but that's what it seems like. And I know that there are some fathers out there that do feel like this, that do feel as if all they do is work to provide for a family that they don't really get to live with anymore. And then when they do get to spend time with them, it's just in time for them to fuck up their weekend. And well, there goes football. Not going to be watching any of that now. I have some friends of mine. My buddies Dave and Mary. They have a baby. I think, almost 2 years old. Little Abraham there. And my buddy, another buddy of mine, Dave Nystrom. He just had his third son. With his wife Natasha, and then I think about my friend Fauna and her husband Mr. Sharp with their two boys, and I think about these three men, and I know these three guys on some level or another, and for what I know about these guys, these are great guys. These are good guys. These are guys that work hard to provide their families with everything they need, most of the things that they want. And they really want to be there for their children. They're not one of these, the absentee fathers that, cut and run. They're not the kind of guys that just all they ever do is work. And then when they get home, they're too tired. They don't want to deal with the fucking kids. They're not those kind of guys. I mean, if you were to see Dave, either one, with one of his boys, the bond is strong. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a sweet thing. And I've seen Dave pretty drunk too when he's hanging around his boys. That was special occasions like barbecues, his birthday. It was Wednesday at 4. Special occasions. And even then, and Dave, like a lot of guys, when we get drunk, we get like emotional and shit. So he'll like take one of his boys and just like keep on hugging him for like 3 hours and shit. Long after the kid wants to like go watch cartoons, he just wants to hold on to his kid, But like I said, these are not. No, I don't want you to get the idea that Dave's like an abusive, fucked up drunk or anything. I mean, he's Canadian, so, that's close. But, and see, Dave will get that joke because Dave's a stand-up comedian. He'll understand. I'm just kidding here. But, it would have been nice, if I had had a dad like that, when I was growing up. And I made the conscious decision not to be a dad a long time ago. I mean, I don't have a vasectomy or anything. I'm pretty sure I'm shooting blanks, to be quite honest with you. I think I'm sterile. Because if I put together a list of all the women I've had sex with without a condom and no pregnancies, I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say that I'm sterile. And really lucky I don't have any of the venereal diseases, actually. I know I get tested. I do. So that would have been nice. I had the great mom. Was she a perfect mom? No, she did the best she could, especially being a little bit of a religious wacko. But she was, for the most part, pretty good. The dads, I wouldn't cross the street to spit on them if they were on fire. All three of them. Fuck them. And it's a damn shame, because a lot of people will tell you that part of the problem with how men are coming up in this culture of ours is because they don't have any positive male role models. They don't have somebody that they can go to and ask, how do I do this? How do I do this the right way? I never had a dad to show me how to throw a baseball, to teach me how to fight. I never had a dad, to let me know the perfect way to grill a hamburger, all that kind of, stereotypical guy stuff. I never had a dad that went out and got me, my first beer, Really, I just, stole my stepfather's beer when he wasn't looking, but I didn't have that guy. And I think all children, not just men, but all children should have that guy in their life. And when I say that, it's not because I'm strictly endorsing the stereotypical paradigm of what parenthood is like. Obviously, you have gay men out there who are having kids. You have lesbians who are raising families as well. They're having kids. And when I say a dad or mom, I don't mean, gender role specific. I do mean gender role in a way, but I don't necessarily mean gender. Okay, because I think that a woman can teach a boy how to be a man. She may not get all the nuances, just like a man can't really teach a little girl how to be a woman, because some of the nuances he's never gonna get. Okay. Women don't have dicks, men don't have pussies or tits, and when that's a fact, something's going to be lost a little bit in translation. But I do think that it is possible for you to be a gay man or a woman and be that dad figure for your kid. You can try, as long as you try really hard. I think you can hit that spot. At least, maybe not on the bullseye, but close enough so he doesn't grow up to be some psychopath, And like I said, I don't believe that you need a dick to be a dad, just like you don't need a pussy to be a mom. Because I've known a lot of men who are more feminine, more maternal than any woman I've ever seen. All right. The same thing goes for women. If you've seen some of the dykes on bikes, those bitches will kick your ass. Don't even think about it. Okay. So yeah, I don't subscribe to the gender when it comes to the gender role. I think I'm trying to make it. I don't know if I'm making that clear enough to everybody out there. It's a concept I'm trying to figure out. Like I said, I decided not to become a dad. And I never tried. Even when I was married, I married a woman that I knew didn't want children, and we got divorced, no kids, thank God. And now I'm with a woman that she also doesn't want children. Even though she's still of a birthing age. She really wanted to. When we got together, we could have had kids, but neither of us wanted it. And I'll get into that as to why when I come back. This is the band I'm playing right now is 835. Sorry, no Gypsy Hawk, but you know what? I'll try to get something together next time. Not quite a slapdash as I did this time. But for right now, this is 835 and their song, Shame It.
can kiss me if you have a mouth. I can't touch you cause I got hands. We can have a drink if you are thirsty. But sorry, I can't dance cause I have no feet. Shades. 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 I can't dance cause I have no feet. 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 Sorry, you can talk to me if you know some words. I could pray for you if
And Show the Shooters once again back and off the cuff. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And before we get on with our today's topic, happy Father's Day, if you have one. Let's finish up celebrity birthdays, why don't we? Let's see, June 13th, which I do believe is actually today. Oh, actually, wait, gotta do June 12th first. Sorry, my bad. If you have a birthday on June 12th, you share that birthday with Anne Frank, famous diarist from World War II. George Bush, ex-president George Bush, is 89 years old. Jim Nabors is 83. By the way, I had no idea he was gay. Swear to God, I had no idea. DJ Qualls is 35, a very fine young actor. Hideki Matsui is 39, one of the few Japanese players to dominate both in Japanese and American League Baseball. Marv Albert is 72, and that rug of his is still looking good. Timothy Bestfield is 56. Rick Hoffman is 43. Eamon Walker is 51. David Rockefeller is 98. So not only a billionaire, but a long life. Fuck you, man. And if your birthday happens to be today, June 13th, then you share that birthday with Laura Keitlinger, funny woman, 44 years old. Siegfried of Siegfried and Roy is 74 years old. Did you guys really know he was that fucking old? I mean, good God, this man was still doing magic with tigers just a few years ago. Malcolm McDowell is 70. Ali Sheedy is 51. I think that's Breakfast Club fame, isn't it? Kat Dennings is 27. You might know her from Two Broke Girls. Tim Allen, funny man, is 60. Steve O is 39 from Jackass. Chris Evans, 32 years old. You may know him now, not just as Captain America, but as Johnny Storm, the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. And Mary-Kate Olsen is 27. By the way, so is her sister Ashley. Who knew? Anyway, I'm such an asshole some days. I can't stand myself. So I'm talking about dads, good dads, bad dads, and the dad that I never got to be and don't intend to. You know, I thought about this many times throughout my life because I thought, and I still do think that I could have been a great dad. At least I like to hope so. Isn't that pretty much what we all hope we could have been? You know, when I compare myself to the three fathers that I know of, you know, my real father, my two stepfathers, I'd like to think that I could at least do better than any one of them. At least I wouldn't be physically abusive. At least I wouldn't be a convicted sex offender. At least I would have showed up. That's what I'd like to say I would at least would have done, is I would have shown up. I would have been there. I think it's hysterical that there really are people out there, men, who know they have children that they've never met and have no interest in meeting those children. Now, I think there are exceptions to every rule here. Okay? If you happen to be, I don't know, a drug addict. I mean, it's not just somebody that, you know, smokes weed occasionally. I mean, you're fucked up, okay? You're a complete meth head. Your teeth are probably just falling out just when you tug on them, you know? You can spit them out like chiclets. If you're that kind of drug addict, then you know what? You're doing your kids a great favor by not going out of your way to find them. You know, don't use your kids to save yourself, all right? It's your job to save them. but I said that's an exception. I feel fortunate in the knowledge that I'm pretty sure I don't have any kids out there. No one's ever called. No one's ever claimed. All right. And I'm glad. But if I did have a kid out there, I would be hard pressed to not want to find them and be in contact with them and get to know them on some level. And that's very easy for me to say because I don't have a kid. And you know what? One of the biggest drawbacks of having a kid is you got to make sure they don't die. That's like a law, by the way. You got to make sure the kid doesn't die. You got to feed it. You got to water it. You got to make sure it gets enough exercise. You know, I mean, basically, a kid is a dog that learns how to talk and drive your car and go to college. You know, so if you are not responsible enough to be able to take care of a dog, then you probably shouldn't have a kid. You know, yeah. Hell, and the basic reason, and that's that's where it comes to the basic reason why I don't have kids. Is I didn't want to have that type of responsibility. I came to Hollywood, good old LA here, with the mindset of one day being famous for doing stand-up comedy, or maybe starting an acting career of some sort, But I was going to be in show business, and you may have noticed that show business kids a lot of the times don't turn out that well. So they end up in the news and not in the good way. So yeah, I made that decision. I knew the kind of life I decided on, and that's what I went with. And okay, obviously, my career has not taken off. I am not rich. I'm not famous. You haven't seen me in any movies. You haven't read any movies that I've written or TV shows. And you probably didn't pay money to go see me when I was performing, though some people did. Okay, that's one thing I can definitely say. People paid money to see me perform. And then I had to give out refunds, but they paid though. So, and now, I'm 42 years old, going to turn 43 in September. Jesus fucking Christ. Theodore Roosevelt High School, grads, feeling old yet? Now I've gotten to the point where, it's not too late, but it feels too late. I don't want to be one of those guys. Think about it. I'm 42 years old. By the time my kid is 18 years old, I'll be 60. All right? I don't know. That's no fun. I think, honestly, the oldest you want to be when your kid turns 18 is 50. Because that way you got to be young enough, healthy enough, active enough to really enjoy the kid, because I see you hear about all these guys, who are having kids now, and they're like in their 60s, 70 years old. Charlie Chaplin was getting bitches pregnant when he was in his 80s. And I was just like, you're really denying them a dad is what you're doing. We have a kid that old, you're denying them a father. And because, the kid's going to be born and you're going to be old as shit. You're not going to be able to do all the things you would want to do with them, like, play catch or, or dance with them, dance with your little girl, you want to be young enough to enjoy them. Like my brother-in-law, Shane, him and my sister Yamila are married, of course, and they have one child, my niece Shania, who I love dearly, sweetheart. And, when she was born, I told him, she's beautiful. You're going to have to, put up an electrified fence around your house and have a gun tower ready for when the boys start coming by, And he's like, yeah, I think I will. And, and that's great. He loves his kid. He would kill for his kid. And that's what you want in a dad, I think. Hell, in any parent, dad or a mother, you want somebody that will be there for you, will kill for you, will defend you, will take care of you, will guide you, and I knew that I wasn't going to have the time to do that. You know, I didn't have the impetus, the onus to do that. You know, I wanted to lead my Hollywood lifestyle. And for a little while I did, you know, where I was pretty much out every night. If I wasn't out where, you know, partying and getting drunk and getting laid, I was out at the clubs, you know, performing or trying to get a spot somewhere or running a show somewhere, or I was on the road. And I didn't want to be that kind of dad. You know? I just didn't. So what else is going on? I know, I got heavy again. I don't know. What is going on in the news? Well, you may have heard that the Zimmerman trial is going to be starting soon. George Zimmerman, he's a man who shot and killed Trayvon Martin. God, how long ago was that now? Like a year or two now? It's been that long, hasn't it? And they're starting the jury selection, and I'm like, how are you going to find anybody that doesn't know anything about this case? Okay, a very famous case where George Zimmerman struggled and then shot and killed Trayvon Martin, who he claims was being threatening to him, and he thought may have had a weapon. It turns out he had like a bag of Skittles and a Sprite or something, or Mountain Dew, you know. And you know, it was not his place to get involved with Trayvon Martin. Yeah, good luck on that. It's not going to be easy, but I think there are a lot of facts about this case that are not necessarily facts. And the image of Trayvon Martin has been one of the most closely guarded images I've ever heard of. Like when the story first broke, and months after that, anytime you saw a picture of Trayvon Martin, it was when he was like 12, you know. And in reality, you know, Trayvon Martin was about 18 years old. He was well over 6 feet tall. He's a big guy, you know. He's a full-grown man, basically. You know, but anytime they showed a picture of Trayvon, it was when he was 12. And I think that skews public perception, just like it would skew public perception if they showed him, you know, full-sized adult. You know, it was like, you know, obviously, but that would be at least be honest. I don't. The only outcome I care about here is the truth. You know, if George Zimmerman did in fact shoot and kill Trayvon unjustly, in an unjustifiable way, it wasn't self-defense, and like, was he in fact profiling him in some way, and that's why, you know, Trayvon Martin is dead, then yeah, you know what, you should go to prison. But you know, I'm willing to bet money on you guys out there that have already made up your mind about who George Zimmerman is and who Trayvon Martin was, that you're going to find out a lot of things that you're not going to like to hear. I just ask, you know, that we all be open to it. I don't support George Zimmerman in any way, shape, or fashion. I'm also not against them because I don't really know what happened, and neither do you guys. Hopefully we're going to find out, all right? And that is my show for today. Good God. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Gypsy Hawk for letting me play some of your music. Well, actually, I didn't get permission from them, so they might be coming by to speak to me. But thank you nonetheless, and I will continue to, you know, plug away. This is, once again, 835, their song Slapdash. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I've been off the cuff. Thanks. Oh, by the way, go to YouTube, Joe the Shirt. YouTube, Joe, capital J-O-E, capital T-H-E, capital S-H-I-R-T, Joe the Shirt. Look up all the videos from Gay Pride, all right? Later.
I got sweater lips, young robots. I got a bigger bazoo than Mike.